Are you watching The Staircase, the limited series on HBO? This is such a good series. So you got Parker Posey in it, who disappears in character. Michael Stuhlbarg, Sophie Turner, Toni Collette, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Colin Firth. I mean, he's spectacular. Odessa Young, Rosemarie Dewitt. The cast is stacked. Staircase is a limited series on HBO Max, adapted from the 2018 Netflix docuseries, which is still streaming on Netflix. It follows Michael Peterson. This is based on a true story. It follows Michael Peterson, who is accused by Durham County District Attorney of killing his wife Kathleen Peterson with a fireplace poker. He maintains his innocence throughout the whole ordeal, but the DA builds a case around him because of how bloody the crime scene appears to be, and by discrediting him because he's been, for most of his life, kind of down low as a bisexual, and we're talking about North Carolina. So they use this information to discredit him and expose him for not being truthful. Now, Michael Peterson was a writer and who wrote novels and really co-wrote novels. And he also had an unsuccessful city council run, so he was trying to delve into politics. He initially blames the police department for setting him up because he ran for city council, which you'll see doesn't really make too much sense. Now, I've always been curious. I have always been curious how children cope when one of their parents is accused of murdering the other, and how they keep this, how they stay loyal to that parent who's like standing trial for murdering the other parent. And in this case, it does examine the family in this series is divided, and I just always wondered how they remain loyal despite all of the facts and evidence that is very incriminating of their parent. Now, I definitely don't want to spoil this series. It is so intriguing and so worth watching. There are 3 episodes available now on HBO Max, and they're releasing new episodes every Thursday. 2 minutes into the first episode, you're already at the scene of the crime, and the police are like immediately suspect Michael because there's just so much blood. They immediately suspect him. I mean, he's the husband. They're always they're always the person of interest, but they suspect him immediately, and then things just move really quickly, like beat by beat. Now, the Netflix docuseries really examines how divided the family became during the trial, half maintaining Michael's innocence despite the overwhelming evidence, and the other half who believe Michael killed Kathleen. So Kathleen Peterson in the HBO series is played by Toni Collette, and Michael Peterson is played by Colin Firth. I mean, this is so perfectly cast, it's crazy. A little backstory: had 2 boys from a previous marriage. Kathleen had a daughter from a previous relationship, and she inherited the 2 girls that Michael had adopted after their mother died. Coincidentally, she died similar to how Kathleen died. which makes you suspicious of Michael Peterson. Now, Michael claimed that Durham County's coming after him because he exposed some politicians and challenged the city council during his unsuccessful campaign, as I mentioned. Now, warning about episode 2. Now, fair warning. In episode 2, at the 55-minute mark, it's very triggering and chilling as they restage the theory of how Kathleen Peterson fell to her death. And it's very bloody. It's very, like I said, triggering. It is not easy to watch, and it starts right after the 55-minute mark. So if you can't stomach things like this, you might want to skip ahead because you will be devastated. Like it was, I can watch gory things. I've seen crazy things in my life before, but watching this was very unnerving. It's hard to stomach. So this French documentary crew wants to produce a documentary exposing the justice system in the United States. So on their dime, they move to North Carolina and they follow the Peterson family after Kathleen Peterson is murdered, and they follow him throughout the entire trial. Some of it, and even later. And initially they get information and get to interview the prosecutors, the district attorney, assistant district attorney who's trying the case. And but then they want nothing else to do with this documentary, and so they exclusively follow the Peterson family. And then you have Michael Stuhlbarg, who plays David Rudolph. Oh my God. David Rudolph is basically the Jewish Johnny Cochran. Like, he's that good. He's the guy you want to call, when you get your one phone call. He is a prominent, high-powered defense attorney who is outsmarting the prosecution for the most part. The acting. Colin, Firth, Toni, Collette, Parker Posey. She is so good. Like, I completely see her getting an Emmy nomination for this role. I mean, all of them. Colin Firth, Toni, Collette, and Parker Posey are probably guaranteed. They are guaranteed Emmy nominations. They are so fantastic in this. And for the Toni Collette stans, I know we love her. She is in this enough. Even though she plays a dead character, a lot of this limited series goes back in time to happier times and shows the relationship between the kids and the relationship between Michael and Kathleen Peterson. So she is in it enough, and she capitalizes on every scene, and you already know she brings it. I mean, it's Toni Collette. This is a stacked cast. Every scene is more powerful than the next. And this limited series gets right to it. 2 minutes in, you're already in the murder scene. Oh, excuse me. Everyone in this series is phenomenal. It's such a great series so far. And I've only seen 3 episodes. Again, they will release episodes every Thursday, and I believe there are 8 in total. There's also a podcast that you can listen to as the cast and crew explain or expound on the episode. They also have interviews from the cast on HBO. They're like 2 or 3 minutes long to sort of rehash and set the tone of the episode. But thank you so much if you stuck around this long. I certainly appreciate you. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and let me know if you've seen the documentary. The documentary has, I believe, 11 episodes or so, and it's just as like it's so addictive. you're like, if you're someone who likes true crime, not true crime, but watching true crime stories, like me, I've always loved Forensic Files. Like I'd even put it on when I went, like as I was going to sleep. It was so therapeutic for me because almost every episode there was redemption, there was justice, and I needed that. But yes, this is such a great, it's so well produced and directed and acted. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Thank you so much. Until next time, peace.